senora. I'm just gazing around. I can't believe I'm in Rio de Janeiro and it's carnival time.
Well, Ola, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
You look like somebody I know. You sort of look like this Valentine guy that was a Peace Corps volunteer.
No. I'm not him. I know who you mean, though. In fact, I ran into him a while back up on the Amazon River in a little town called Mochi Alegre. And, I just happened on and...
Well, and I'm Carmen Miranda.
Oh, yeah.
A Chiquita, banana girl, the woman who brought samba to the world.
Oh, yeah, Carmen Miranda. I've heard of you. Yeah, you're a famous movie star, popular on 3 continents. Yeah, is that you?
I guess so. So, did you do anything important?
Well, I've done some flying.
Oh, really, Rod? What brought you here?
Well, I'm Charles Lindberg. I did some flying around the Amazon River. We were, and I flew down here, in fact, to check out an old story that I'd heard.
Oh, really? Didn't you check it out on Google? Do you know
Google? Yeah, I can go.
No. Google. It's Google, the internet.
Oh, no.
Well, so what is the story?
Well, there's this guy, Brazilian guy, Alberto Santos Dumont is his name, and he claims that he was the first person to fly an airplane. Do you know about him?
Sure. Yeah, Alberto Santos Dumont. He's a national hero in Brazil. The Rio airport, in fact, is named after him. And it's actually first in flight. It's a really big deal for us here in Brazil.
The first in flight, what about the Wright brothers? I thought they were the first ones to fly a plane.
Well, do you know what we call the Wright brothers here in Brazil?
Why, no. What do you call the Wright brothers here in Brazil?
The wrong brothers.
Oh, well, I guess I'll take your word for it.
So what are you doing here in the Amazon anyway?
Well, we were testing this plane, and we ran into lots of strange stuff up there, including, and one thing I ran into is this guy, or an apparition, I'm not sure which, a guy who said he was Teddy Roosevelt. No.
That's pretty strange. Well,
You know him?
yeah, I've heard of him. He's a rough rider, I understand. The U.S. president and big game hunter and explorer. And, well, Kevin, tell me this story.
Well, I think I can channel him. He can tell it a lot better than I can.
Oh, really? Can you do that?
Well, it'll take a little time. So why don't you just eat some fruit or something? I tell you what, I don't want to turn you into a street hustler, but Carnival is pretty expensive. Maybe you could hit the streets and hustle up some money.
Yes, I think that's a great idea. Sure.
Okay.
So, say, would you be around after your Carnival and say you party with us?
I don't know. I hadn't thought about it.
Well, I'd like to see you again. Come on back. If you're feeling lucky.
Okay, I'll think of it.
Well,
Okay.
come back to so we're having a Carnival, and so we have some little peaks in case anybody wants to eat. We have a couple of lobster tanks.
And you are?
How are you?
I'm fine. That's one bully of a headdress you got.
Yes, it's my samba creation.
Oh, yeah, that's a dance, right?
Yes. I predict someday that samba will be our national identity and along with football. And of course, samba will mean parties and carnival and dancing and big costumes and big hats. And bigger than my hat here, by the way. They go way up high. So speaking of hats, what's on yours?
It's your pith helmet.
Excuse me. What am I supposed to say?
Yeah, actually, it's called a pith helmet. My mustache.
Well, don't take it off because you know what it would call this.
What? Pith. Oh, I get it. I'm sorry. I'm a little, so I've been really sick.
You have it?
Yeah.
Well, I'm surprised. I thought you were long dead, but
No, I'm still on a big adventure. Actually, this guy up north, Colonel Hodon and I went on a big adventure down this river called the River of Doubt. Never been back. And so they wanted us to map it up. The Indians knew all about it, of course, but they aren't into maps, you know, so all they do is live in a place for centuries and live a lot of the time. They're no good for maps. And they keep stuff the way it is, but that's no good for us. We're Americans, by Jove. Our destiny is to use stuff up. So there's this crew, 30 people. My son Kermit was with us, 2 or 3 other white guys, and all the rest were Caboclos. Like these guys over here. Those are mixed blood Indians, Caboclos they're called. We went down this river though, and we ran into stuff you wouldn't believe. Rapids, waterfalls, mosquitoes like crazy. Seemed a lot of the Indians that were ready to cut our hearts out. We went through Hades, if you'll pardon my Portuguese. And we made it, but I caught the fever. I was in the hospital in Manaus, way up the river there, for about 4 months. It was terrible. But Kermit came out of that. And, you know, Colonel Hodon, the guy, and all his crew, they came out with hardly a scratch. I thought I was one tough son of a bachelor, but Hodon and all those guys, there's something else. But in the end, it was good. I mean, they renamed the river after me. They call it the Rio Welchi. So it's big on it.
oh, geez, what a tale. That's remarkable. So did you see any other wild stuff while you were there?
Oh, yeah. You know, I saw this woman, sweet little woman from up there in the U.S., Iowa, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She's down there, and she caught caimans with her bare hands. That's a picture over here.
Oh.
She caught these caimans with her bare hands. You know, she looks a little like you.
I would touch you, by the way. So, what else is going on up there in Amazon? Is everybody out to waste villages of the Amazon, or are people trying to help things get better?
Well, you know, she wasn't doing anything wrong. She's doing a good one. She put that caiman back. It was just asleep, but he wasn't dead. She didn't hurt it. She put it back. But there are people out there who do, lay waste to the Amazon. And I'll let you be the judge of that. I'll tell you a bit though about the rubber industry. You can be the judge. It's kind of a long deal, so I'll try to brief. But
Yeah, well, right.
I must ask. Anyway, Brazil rubber is a big deal. It was back in the old century. They make weatherproof stuff out of it, you know, boots and coats and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's Brazilian rubber. It comes from trees. They tap it out in the forest. It grows out in the wild, a gazillion acres of the Amazon rainforest, you know. Trees are all spread all over. But it was a big deal, big industry. People got rich, and they built things up there. You have a picture of one here. That's the Teatro Amazonas, built in 1896. Italian marble, French wood, all kinds of stuff brought in there. Big deal, big industry in Brazil. But along came this guy, He was Brazilian, I'm sorry, a British botanist, a thief really. He came and he made off with seeds and plants of the rubber tree.
Really?
He gave us the phrase, oops, there goes another rubber tree. He stole 10 seeds and took them off to the British colonies in Southeast Asia, and they grew plantations of rubber trees. Well, Brazil couldn't compete with that, so the industry went bust here in the Amazon. People lost their fortunes. Things were going fine for the British. Fast forward 30 years, Southeast Asia got shaky. Big business guys in the U.S. got nervous because they need rubber. So they said, well, if Britain isn't the source of a reliable source of rubber, we'll make our own. So, back in those days, Henry Ford made cars, Harvey Firestone made tires. They teamed up, most of it was Ford money, they came down to the Amazon. Invested about $30 million, a lot of money back then. So they put $30 million into building their own plantation. They were quite over plantation stuff, I guess, yeah. But anyway, they made a plantation, not far up the river from this spot right here. That's the Tapajos River, 450 miles up the Amazon. So, everything's going great. Trees grew great, bugs grew even better. Trees got wiped out from the bugs. This whole Dearborn South, Fort Langer, we call it, it went south, it went way south. And Henry Ford went home. He went to greener pastures with no jungle.
Sounds like there's some really rough characters up there, really bad things that happen. Say, can I call you Sandy?
Oh, yeah, sure. Can I call you Carmen?
Sure. Maybe you can come up and see me.
Did you really say that?
Anyway, Teddy, you were always the blue guy, weren't you? But
Yeah. I was for fairness, you know. That, that kind of thing that I railed against back in the old days, that'll happen again. You know, in fact, I have a discrimination somewhere down the road. There'll be a Jewish guy running for president of the United States, saying a lot of the same stuff I said back in the old days. A Jewish guy running for president of the USA. Boy, that would really cross old Henry Ford. and that upstart Lindberg, Jew, go hate Jews.
well, like that, Teddy, that sounds too heavy for me. What we got about. I'll stick with samba, okay? And Carmel, how about coming with me to see what's going on in Rio?
I'm with you, young lady. Let's join